Hello, good afternoon. Wow. It's been a great day, right? Fantastic speakers, fantastic panel, and I just hope I can bring it home for you today. So first of all, I want to thank the Hong Kong Retail Management Association for inviting me today. It's an honor and pleasure to be with you today, and I hope the few minutes I spend with you, hopefully some of the ideas and things that we do with Adidas can help your business or can be used for your business, okay? First, before I start, I will be using English today. Apologies, my Cantonese is very poor. It's about 3-year-old, so that's not third grade, 3-year-old. It's like baby talk, so it's very bad. So I'll use English today. I do talk fast, so I will try to not be fast. My colleague Amy will help me out if I get too fast. You raise your hand and say, Paul's too excited, okay? So let's get going. So today, I'm gonna have a lot of photos, and I have a video. So please don't fall asleep. All right, great. So if I look at this process, game, life, world, is going to be kind of how I'm going to structure my presentation for you today. Very simple. And I'm going to take you through, in our sports industry, in our sports brand, how we kind of do simple key things to drive our business in Hong Kong and around the world, okay? But before I start off, a little exercise. We had a break just now, I know. So just a little exercise to get the arm going. I'm just curious who I'm talking to here. Who likes sports, who does sport, or who watches sport? Just put your hand up. Just get warm up. Okay. It's like half the room, right? Half. Actually, more than half. Good. Healthy crowd. Very good. I'm very happy. Okay. All right. Life. All right? So, ready for this one? Put your hand up if you like to be comfortable and you want to look cool. Okay? At any age, right? Put your hand up if you want to look cool and feel good. Put your hand up, yeah? Still not everybody, huh? Still not everybody. Only 3/4, I think, okay? All right, world. Last one. A lot of pressure on this one. A lot of pressure. Okay, answer correctly. Put your hand up if you care about the world and the environment around you, all right? Hint, pressure, okay? All right, put your hand up. It should be everybody, right? All right. So this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to tell you about how the company, how we approach it globally and locally on these 3 sections, okay? So let's take, first of all, let's define game. Game is really, if you look at sports industry, we have Messi and the World Cup coming soon next month. I know a lot of people, everyone's talking about World Cup, yeah? 1 more month. World Cup, big, one of the biggest sporting events in the world, right around the corner for all of us. And as an official partner and sponsor, it's a huge event for us. And it's a huge opportunity for us to reach consumers through World Cup. So James Harden in the NBA semifinals right now, these athletes at the top level, this is their game. This is sport for them. But it's not just about the best athletes in the world. It's also about you and me. Our brand, our history is about making the best sports products for athletes at any level. It means if you run on weekends, if you go to yoga class, if you go training on a weeknight, we try to make the best product we can for you to reach your targets and for you to really reach your goals, okay? That's game. Life. Life for us is about transcending from sport into life. And if you look at the market today, there's no other brand that does it better than us in terms of taking our sports heritage and leveraging that to business and life. And you often think about, recently we have, of course, last weekend we have Pharrell Williams collaboration. You hear about Kanye West and Adidas with Easy, and all the celebrities that we have around the world and also in Asia that really speak to us and our consumers about what lifestyle can be and really leading innovation and trends. Last, world. World for us is really something that's very important for us. And it's how we take game, life, and world, and from our athletes, our partners, our employees, and the world around us, how do we as a company really engage our products and our culture to embrace the world? And that's a very exciting part about, I think I'll end up with that today. So let's get started. Maximize the brand and business opportunity. I believe this is really the ultimate goal. I mean, it sounds simple. It's for most of us in the room, it's all of our jobs. As a multinational company, for us as a company, this is a key point. So today I'll share concepts that are some of them global, and some of it's for Hong Kong. And really for me, it's all about us maximizing what we have as a brand, and as products, and as platforms globally to maximize our business locally, okay? So game, I talked about this already, right? This game is all about sport. And this is something that we believe in. It's something that our founder first started by making the best sports product, innovating football cleats for the German national team, as one example, right? So this is our heritage in always making the best sports products we can, and for the best, for every athlete, okay? So consumers obsessed. This is something that we start with in our product creation. So if you look at some great products, which I'll show you in a second, if you look at consumer obsessed, this is where we want to be consumer obsessed. This is where it comes from, whether it be making global great products for all of us around the world, or locally, whether it be us making the best retail environments, whether for us to make some of the fantastic consumer activations we do, start from what can we do as a brand to really reach consumers in a very special way and in a very relevant way. Products, right? Some of these, I think there may be people in the room who know our products, right? So the last couple of years have been fantastic for us. You know, you've seen a lot of lineups for our products, and you've seen our, let's say, whether it be sport or in, let's say, originals, really this huge momentum that we have. It's all starting from product. And you know, this is something that we have the great advantage on a global platform, that we're making great product that is creating strong demand. So whether it be Ultra Boost, whether it be NMD, which launched a couple years ago, whether it be, you know, Pure Boost, whether it be some of the things we're doing now with Derupt. We have 4D printing, some really exciting innovations, whether it be sport for athletes or also for the street style consumer. It starts here, and again, I'll show you how we try to leverage this in the Hong Kong market as a platform. And this is what we do. For Hong Kong, we have created a huge platform, and it's not just about the big mega stores we have in Central or in TSD. It's about us making sure that we have the opportunity to make sure that we have the best consumer experience at every point of contact. That could be a big flagship store we have, where we have the best of everything, from sport to fashion, or it could be actually a multi-brand location where consumers have more choice, and we want to stand out in that location. So how do we work with our partners to make sure that we have a voice and we showcase our products in the right way? If I look at this slide, we do some innovative things. For example, in TSD, we have used that location, our flagship, to have training there with consumers every single week. We have running events that go through there, just trying to use our retail locations and activate them, not just as a point of sale for consumers to buy, but actually making the store come alive with a community that actually interacts with the store. And the consumer journey, I'll show you a slide later on about sport and originals. It's very different, because it may be the same consumer, but how they feel and what they want to use it for, it can be very different. I asked you to put your hand up for sport. A lot of hands went up. And a lot of people want to look cool and feel good. There's nothing more comfortable than an NMD pair of shoes, and you look great. So I think this, you know, you can be running on a weekend, and in the evening shopping or hanging out, you can slip on a pair of NMDs from Adidas. So I think that the journey, when we shop that way, it speaks very differently. So when we shop, we design a store for that journey. We design it for runners, for basketballers, for footballers, for people who want to go training, and the store speaks to that consumer in a very different way. And I'll show you later on, and if you've been to our stores, you can see that we have different formats that really look very different. The shopping environment is very different. So we build these to the consumer for their needs. And it can be the same consumer, right? I myself, I like to run, I like to go gym, but I like to hang out on the weekends. So I think the journey and how we talk about the products in the environments is also very different. So when we go online and the whole social media, you've heard a lot today, a lot of great stuff today. I won't spend too much time on that, but certainly, you know, we embrace it. That platform for us, and as we reach millennials and that target youth group, certainly offline, online, is certainly a big part of what we do. And creating consumer demand, there's some photos here for lineups. And for us, it's not all about lineups, right? We're very excited to have these great products that consumers want. We are certainly happy that we've created innovative products that consumers want. But for us, in any market, what we try to do is try to leverage it. And today, you've had some great presentations. What we've done through social media, and depending on different campaigns, and Amy can talk about this later on, is we have different platforms. Some are more mass. We can go out of home, print. We're going to hit, of course, social media is always used, but in-store. And some other platforms like this is all just social media, right? We don't advertise these things. If you're in the target consumer group, you know what we're launching and when. So we know what you want, we know what you want, when you want it, and we're gonna give it to you where you want, and you gotta come. So I think it's something that we've really harnessed and try to be very honest to consumers, because some products are limited, some things are not limited, but people still want to line up for the shoes, so they get their size and they get the product right away. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So sports space. I wanted to share this with you before I go into lifestyle topic and how we embrace the lifestyle consumer. This is something we did last summer. We're very proud of it. It's something we took, if you look at the game, life, and world that I talked about earlier, this takes all three into consideration. And what I mean by that is, I'll show you the video first, in a second, but before I show you the video, game, it's all about sport, and you'll see how we've leveraged this for all kinds of consumers in sport. And for life, this has become, it's also tourist visitors and also just people passing by, engaging them in sport. And the world part of it is we were able to get a lot of youth, encouraging them to do more sport. So we cover all three here. Let's play the video, and then I'll do a summary afterwards, so please. So over 100,000 people passed through our sports space last summer and engaged in many different ways. You saw so many different activities, and those people were engaged and doing something very unique. And that doesn't include the hundreds, if not thousands, of kids that passed through and that we excited them, inspired them to do sport and not just online gaming and spending the time on the phone, right? So if I take a look at life, let's shift our topic to life. And life, and this is an area that the Adidas brand thrives in. We use our sports heritage, our history, and our innovation better than anyone. And I think you can see that in our success for our Originals brand. And behind me are some images of how we engage in street lifestyle with a sports brand. But first, I think from here, if you go to our stores, for example, and a lot of them, you have this crossover, right, from sport to Originals. And our sports products, our sports positioning allows us to be successful in Originals and allows us to be unique to talk to consumers in a very different way. Whether we bring back old product, it's very authentic, historical product, or whether we bring back innovations and I would say reiterations and reinventions of the old, making the old very new. So it's something that we do very well globally, and we really accentuate this in our retail environments and also through how we use our athletes and use our celebrities to talk about Originals. So during retail, it looks very different, and the environment looks very different, and how we market the shoes, the life cycles of products a little bit different, and something that how we market the brand for Originals or Neo is very different in terms of different channels that we go to. And the key here is really making sure that we have, internally, for example, we actually have different teams, different people that work on sport versus Originals. You have very different profiling of consumers that we have inside our company. We have a culture of people that are focused on sport versus other people who are focused on that Originals consumer or the lifestyle needs. And to consumer demand, you heard a lot. I mean, we all embrace. I remember, many years ago, people were talking about digital marketing. Digital marketing is marketing today, right? So it's all part of it. But I think what you saw earlier with the sports space, when we said 100,000 people pass through, we have a monthly NPS, and that's Net Promoter Score research that we have. We saw a spike after that sports space last summer, which we were very excited about. We saw that. We're very proud of that, but we saw that impacting consumers' perceptions. If I look at here, through research, when we track it monthly, depending on what campaign it is, there's definitely a role to play. We use, like many brands, we use all of our influencers. We have a lot of ambassadors. We have celebrities, and we use all the things you see, right? They post for you. They speak on your behalf, and that's not a new game. But I think what is more special is when we have ambassadors and influencers who are speaking because they want to speak. So find the right ambassadors, find the right influencers, find the right celebrities who are posting the products that they get because they want to post, or they tell stories from their behalf on our behalf. And that's a really key part of, I think, social media and where it's going today, because I think the formula is being used by a lot of companies. It's very obvious. And the question is, how do you stay ahead of that with your brand? And we do it through find the right ambassadors, the right influencers, the right people who really talk to the consumers, whether it be sport or Originals, in the right way. And we have some ambassadors here, whether it be Eason or Eddie Peng around for Hong Kong market, but we have many. And they're all great partners who all speak to a different consumer for us. And for Originals, we certainly have a very different approach into our activation, right? Whether it be connecting to music or music festivals, connecting to action sports like skateboarding. It's a very different approach on how we do it there, right? But certainly, consumer engagement for us is a big part of how we speak to Originals to consumers, whether through, obviously it's not basketball, it's going to be more lifestyle per se, right? So World, okay? Before I get to World, the game life, and this is inspired by a lot of our athletes. It's inspired by a lot of our employees, inspired by a lot of stakeholders who want the brand to be with them. When we've had athletes tell us, when I'm on the game playing basketball, I want to be with the Adidas brand in life, on weekends, hanging out. I want to look great. I want products that are speaking innovation and lifestyle. But World is something that we're very excited about, and I think that we're embracing it. And I want to share with you the last 2 minutes on this topic. We believe that through sport, we have the power to change lives. And this has many meanings, right? It has meanings like we believe that we have a role to play to get kids and the youth involved in sport. And we believe we have a role to make the world a better place through sport. And so something we're doing right now is, if you haven't seen it, we have a partnership with Parlay. And this is the Ultra Boost X, for example. This is an exciting product that we're making, that we started a couple years ago, making product from plastic from the oceans. Something that we have not just innovated, but we are growing at a high speed. And so these sports stories I just told you about sport, about fashion, Now we're combining all of them and connected to a world. And we come from an industry that's actually not very eco-friendly. So this is fantastic for us to take a leadership role to make a statement. So 3 areas, I'll just say a few words: sustainability, communities, employees. Sustainability, trying to make a lot more products from Parlay is one example, but another example is our R&D teams making a lot more products with a lot more wastage, whether it be footwear or apparel, and all these things that we're trying to do that can actually really, I think, pave the way for the future in how we think about manufacturing and how we impact the world. Sorry. Communities, this is something that we're doing. We have an Adidas Runners community, for example, that is now linked into Parlay. And we have a run for the oceans that I'll show you in a second that we now embrace and internally with the consumers. The last, employees. Culturally, this is embraced by all of us. I'll give you a simple example. Last year, in all of our offices, including Office Hong Kong, there's no more plastic. Plastic is no longer in our office. There's no plastic cups, no plastic bags, and we look at we're going much more digital, less paper printing, et cetera, et cetera. This is a dramatic movement that speaks to us from consumers, but also we're living it internally. And I think that's really a strong statement, and it required a change, right? To go through the entire office globally and take out all the plastic was a big, big statement. This is the Ultra Boost Parlay, for example. This uses 11 plastic bottles from the ocean to make the upper on this product. And it's a super great product. It's not just environmentally, directionally fantastic and innovative, but it's fantastic products. And this was highly sought after by a lot of consumers who not just thought it was a great product, but actually knew how it was made. So I'll close with, if you want to run with us, I'll be a pitch. You'll see Amy, my colleague, up here in a few minutes here. We have a run on June 10th. It's coming soon. And we see great interest from our consumers to be a part of this. This is part of a global platform for Run for the Oceans that will make a global donation to Parlay. So there's something, if you're interested, ask Amy later on and how you can get involved. It's a fun run for us. And we expect this to grow every year and get bigger and bigger, as an example. And again, taking the game, life, and world, and really combining all of it in the community. So that's it for me. Thank you for listening.